Let's get the analysis going. I'm sorry, yeah. Okay. We've been doing a lot of stuff, but now we got Fantasy Strike. We had it at Toryuken, and yeah, like Mr. Sub says, let's get this analysis going. We've got a match between yours truly, Mr. MKL, and Janet from round one in this tournament. And right off the bat, actually, I want to point something out here. Janet starts off and throws me out of my cyan. Um, this is an opening. I want to force Lum to block right away just so I can get my game going and my mix-ups going and prevent Lum from actually throwing out any like items and getting their game set up. Janet knows this. We've gone back and forth for a couple years now, it feels like. And so she knows right off the bat that that's what I'm going to go for, and is like, boom, throws me right out of it. So great start for Janet, recognizing the history of our match, and saying, okay, that's fine. So here I'm trying to take out the mini lums, just make sure she can't get anything too offensive going. Jump over the cake here to make sure that she can't toss out another item, and then I go pick it up just for good measure. Even though I had the meter, I should have just left it and walked forward. Got to pay attention to my resources. And then I decided to challenge her in the air. A lot of Valeries like to play this game super grounded, but I decided to go for a little bit of an unorthodox approach to her. I know she likes jumping and throwing melons, and I've noticed in the last few weeks that I've played her that she's been very mobile in the air. So I decided to challenge her with my jump A's, because if I can land something, I get a lot of damage out of it. So you can see here, I get a couple pokes, that's good. Take out the mini lums. Make sure she doesn't toss out anything else with the item. Jump A challenge, 3 damage, and I've got her in the corner here. I see, Mr. Sub. Never think you can just force Janet to do anything. No, and I think that is going to be the lesson that we learn in this match eventually. You'll see here, Janet immediately, as soon as she gets a cloud out or as soon as she gets a bomb out, if she has a little bit of space in the meter, she's going to get out her dice. So I decide to push in hard because I don't want her to be able to do anything with them. So I get over that cloud, thankfully. It was actually pretty close. And then I get in some pressure, get in some chip, and I give her just enough room to be able to throw out something, and she wants to hit the dice, put out one of her buttons, hit the dice, and then hopefully take me out, right? Or at least knock me back and get that space back. But I jumped in right there and I just hit her button as she was reaching out trying to use those dice. This was just a little bit of me trying to pay attention to what she does historically and kind of capitalize on that. So already she goes for the roll anti-air because she knows I'm going to challenge in the air. I've still got some timing on my hand and some meter, so I get to jump AA into super into forward A. This was not ideal because I'm so close to the corner. The forward A actually leaves me really vulnerable to a throw, which I fall to here. If I had gone for a little bit of a back off and then cyan reset, though actually off that maybe cyan wouldn't have worked, but cyan reset in the magenta meaty, that would have been the ideal approach. So she manages to get out, and I decide, once again, push forward, get the side switch, push her back into the corner. And then, once again, use the backdash to back off just enough to let her throw something out, and then press my advantage again. So she tried to jump, and I clipped her because I just had her pushed far enough into the corner. So far this is going pretty dang well for me. Janet's getting some of those anti-airs. I get hit going for a Yomi counter. Again, anti-air into the bomb, super unfortunate, and she gets the health. So this is all coming up Janet right now. I don't want to get clipped by the bomb here, but I don't want to give her too much room. So you'll see me get knocked. Oh yeah, knock her out of the jackpot and then jump back and rainbow in. Unfortunately, get anti-aired, and eventually she managed to set up space. But you can see Janet is now not throwing out items or her or anything like that, even though she has the space because of the bomb. Because she knows that I've been pressing so hard that it's not worth risking it. So she just kind of waits it out here, sees what I'm going to do, gets out of the corner, tries to build that space to get her game going again. Yeah, Mr. Sub, you're right. She knows this matchup so freaking well. Not only between the characters, but between us two personally, because we do end up playing a lot in tournament. So I get the throw. I go in for the pressure. I had mentioned at the beginning here that she's been doing a really good job of throwing me out of my stagger pressure, but because I haven't been doing that and have been doing this kind of unorthodox jump approach to her, I can get away with it a bit here, and I managed to scope a throw into the chip setup. So you see you get counter hit because she's hoping I mistime my zip and throws me out of it, but I time it correctly there. So I'm hoping she decides to extend right away, but she does not, and capitalizes off of that with a roll into cloud. is able to set up some items here. Now it gets dangerous because she's got 2 mini lums out. She's got a wall of cloud, another wall of cloud, right? I'm not able to take out this mini lum here. I do, but she gets fireworks and then just toasts me with the anti-air roll, which she is starting to really adapt to my jump patterns and nail me with those now. Not going for the throw tech, not from a super far range at least, or close range at least. And man, Valerie just absolutely steamrolling this panda. And this is why everyone says this matchup is so brutal. Right? I get the 1 jump in, 3 damage, another jump in AA. I mean, I could have gotten a 3rd damage off that. So even once you get 1 or 2 little ticks of damage as Valerie, it's just one big combo into death. So Lum's really got to watch out. And Janet is definitely a fan of the melon. So it's I know she wants to be in the air, so it's about finding that spot in that range where I can knock her out of it and not get anti-aired. And yes, degrade jump A will never make sense. It won't make sense to anyone. So get the single jump A, because I wasn't sure if I was actually going to get much out of here, if she was going to back off. This was just kind of a read on my part. So I started this round with a single jump A in hopes that I can just land and recover in time. But I managed to get a hit, so I'm like, oh, boom, forward A. Okay, take that. Once again, these jump rainbows, they're kind of paying off for me, but I probably should really be worried about them, because it's not the best idea, but it is getting me in over and taking her out when she's trying to throw melons. So reset into throw, into chip setup. She doesn't even want to bother blocking that because she knows it's going to be zip block into chip death, so she tries to throw me out of it again. So bad reset there, and she manages to throw me and starts building out space. I'm jumping over those items so she can't throw it anymore. Okay, trying to intimidate me with the panda. And now she's got a really good setup here. And I make the mistake of trying to go in and poke one of these pandas out as she's got the jackpot out. And I take some skill coins, she gets the meter and another jackpot. And then the bomb and the clouds prevent me from doing anything, so it kind of resets into Janet's favor. She gets double jackpot out, and she gets the reset to neutral. Now Janet's in control of this match with a mini lum. I once again reaching in, trying to take it out. That's so dangerous. I only have the 1 health, and I get capped with a melon. So I shouldn't have been focusing on that. I should have been focusing on something else, and I let her regain all this super meter, so I'm going to have to deal with jackpot and items again. So in round 4, I managed to get... So you see now, she's anticipating the jump in from me, and so she decides to start off by challenging me in the air, which can often work. Her jump A can come out very quickly. But I go in, and I get the throw, because she goes right over me, into my rainbow disc setup. Oh, BT dubs, I love this graphical glitch that we have going on again. We used to lose it, but now we have the brush in the wrong hand. Boom, let's point. All right, so I go for cross up. This is a setup of mine that I actually really like. A lot of people don't expect it, so I go rainbow disc, neutral A, cross up, and they get hit by it, and then I go in, and if they're not expecting to flip back into the disc, I can get some jump A damage, and if they block it, I get a jump A block string pressure. So this lets me take her from mid-screen into the corner, and it gives me a couple mix-up opportunities. I get my rainbow disc. I get my mix-up, I get my block string, build up that chip, I back off, but I go back in, and why? Why did I go back in, folks? I think I'm being clever and I can deal some damage to Janet. I got full health, right? I can risk that. What's the worst that can happen? 2 skill coins can happen. And then I go in again because I don't like this. Honestly, why did I go in again? Like, I think this is one of those mental things with a lot of players, myself included, obviously. We do something because we thought it was a good idea and it doesn't work, so you go for it again. It's like going for the throw the second and third time when it whiffed the first time, right? It's probably not smart to go for that throw again, but you do it anyways because your brain is committed to it and you can't pull away. And so that gets me hit again with a mini lum into a big jumping combo, and my health just freaking melts away. So now I start off this round mad, and I just jump right in. I am super aggressive. I do not want her to get anything out. It's kind of paying off for me right now. I'm smart enough to back off and not do the cyan magenta stagger pressure, which I know she has tech against. We managed to get another jump A into forward A. This is something that I should have probably taken the opportunity here with this jump AA. I have the meter. I just got the meter. And this is a little bit that Ducky does, which I really like. She'll do jump AA, jump forward, rainbow disc, instead of this reset, which this reset can leave you in a bad situation. It works out for me okay, but having a rainbow disc out there would have been great, and it would have let me get some extra chip and some extra pressure into the corner. I managed to miss that anti-air, and then I try to get over top of this. I thought I was being cute. I really thought I was being cute here, and I was going to be able to get over top and have the items go the other way and then be able to do a punish. Unfortunately, I clipped the slot machine there. So I'm still going in hard at this point. I managed to get a zip. I decided to go for rainbow pressure, and I know that Janet loves her throws. So I do the grounded rainbow, and I just stop, go for the Yomi counter, which is perfect, because now she's at 2 health, and I get a chip set up. She tries to get out of it, because she doesn't want to deal with me dealing her 2 chip and her not having a super to reversal, which is really smart, but I get the cyan magenta anyways afterwards, and she can't do anything against the yellow, and I managed to tie it up 3-3. We go to round 7 here. So this is where it all starts going downhill for me. I get clipped by the jackpot, I get a bad jump back, and she's got 3 mini lums out. I managed to take 1 out, but she's got jackpot, another couple mini lums. I get really lucky that she gets clipped by the bomb here as I go in, but then she just throws me out of this yellow. Like, I get over top of all these mini lums, and I'm like, heck yes, right? This is my chance. I whiff a throw because I'm panicking, and then she manages to get her own throw. Let's take another look at this. She gets her throw. I jump back. I didn't even know what item she got out. I had decided to jump back Rainbow Disc because it was going to give me some invulnerability, and if she challenged me, I was going to likely trade and she would get caught in it. So I would get hit for 1, she would get caught, I would be able to get 2 damage into a mix-up. That was my goal. But I didn't react to anything. I decided beforehand to do this. So by the time I hit super, I was like, it's too late. I'm getting nailed by this cloud, which is going to send me flying so far back and into this mini lum. It doesn't even matter that Janet actually went in afterwards. Was like, oh, I'm going to get out of there. And she's like, other side. But I go flying back into that mini lum. And this is why you need to react to stuff. You really do. Especially against a lum. Especially as a lum. This is one of Janet's greatest strengths as a player, is that she's able to look at the situation and the hand that she's being dealt from lum RNG and is able to react to it and capitalize on it, and she knows all these situations. Luck, 100% the best character in Fantasy Strike. Absolutely. Right? Like, this is, when it works out in your favor, it's amazing. So this was so unfortunate. Like, this is like perfect for her. That clip on the bomb on her part was like, that was my entry point, and then I panic and she gets the throw and I panic jump and it's over. So we get a little panda booty dance. The beginning of the end for me. I start off with my regular game. This is what Janet came armed with, right? This is how we started off the first match. This is how we start off the last one. I go back to normal because I had a panic situation at the end of the last round. So she throws me out of my cyan, and she gets her pressure going. I'm still getting mileage out of that air rainbow, thankfully. I air rainbow in. I get that reset. But she throws my stagger pressure again. Like I said, she came armed with the tech. And then, boom, she rolls in, gets a full super meter and a cherry. I try to get away, but she throws the other one out. Thankfully, I don't land on that mini lum, but yeah, it's kind of dangerous. I didn't realize those fireworks were coming down. I thought they had disappeared, frankly. So I go in, right? And this is the Janet knew they were coming down, right? Because Janet goes for the cartwheel, because she's like, okay, under cover of fireworks, I'm gonna cartwheel in. I'm gonna get a bunch of pressure. This is great. I hit her out of it, but get pinged by that. And I'm trying to make sure she doesn't set up her wall of mini lums here. I'm getting away with it. I'm far enough away. She presses a button on jump in, which lets me anti-air her. And then I go in, but this time Janet has meter, and she trades. I think something TPK pointed out is that a properly timed jackpot will actually win in this situation, but it's pretty difficult to do. I'm not sure how true that is. But I go for it, saying to myself, you know what? If I get the round, I get the round, and that's fantastic. And then she said, you know what? I'm going to reversal. And if I get the round, I get the round. That's fantastic. And if it's a draw, we both get the round. Everyone needs this first round anyways. So frankly, we both went for the situation that was like, it's either going to be a draw or one of us is going to come out on top because they managed to time it properly. So it's kind of like a risky gamble, but we both took it. It's early in this last match, and we go for the draw, recognizing how the draw system works in Fantasy Strike. Mr. Sub saying, textbook example of why I try alternating round start options. Even if I'm known for doing one or two things, I'd rather have my opponents streamline themselves as opposed to me. Absolutely. It's really important to mix up your options and recognize when your opponent is likely to change theirs. So I don't know if it was a matter of Janet recognizing that it was a scramble panic situation for me at the end of the second game. So she decided to go revert to her initial anti-MKL tech or anti-Valerie tech. And I went to my initial game plan, which is what she was trying to counter, and so she came out on top. I'm not sure if it was a player read, or if it was happenstance, or if it was, how that played out exactly. But you're right. It just goes to show the importance of really alternating your options. Okay. So we've been going back and forth between this grounded game and this jumping game with me. So I go in forward, only the one, so she doesn't throw me. And then I go in for the jump. I managed to get a bit of chip here, which is nice. Get hit going for the Yomi counter. Get hit trying to zip in. And then, yeah, I'm hoping to clip a limb, so I go for super. And once again, this is, for me, I'll be honest, you'll see this with me a lot. In a panic situation, when I'm not sure how to get in and I really want to close the gap, I'll just go for jump C and hope for the best. It's not a good idea. It's one that I go to, and that's one that I'm trying to train out of myself. So we'll see how well that goes. I get a trade on the jump A with the cartwheel there, which is actually nice. It just lets us get back to neutral. Okay, so I'm going in with a bunch of pressure here. I get the zip, I get some damage, I try to poke a limb, I try to hope she's going to throw, and I poke the throw. I managed to bully her into the corner, but as soon as she gets this throw here, she tries to toss an item and go in. And this is... Usually you'll see a lot of lums do the throw neutral A mix-up. And she goes for the jump, and I think that's because I have been doing a lot of jumps myself. Unfortunately, my jump back actually lets me catch her. But I think some of my aerial approaches, she's not entirely sure how to deal with them. And so she's opting to try these different options. And you see her alternating and modifying her options as we go to see what the best solution is. All right. This is how it happens, folks. You just try desperately to get in on a lum, right? She's got her bomb out, so she goes for super. And then this is big. I back off because I'm worried. And she gets the huge cross-up jump in into all those fireworks. Great skill coin anti-air. and just melts me away. And that's the beauty of Lum sometimes, folks. All right, she gets another firework. I get the jump A counter here on the ground, which is really good. I just stuff her with my jump A, and it lets me back off. But I back off because I got to deal with these fireworks now. So I try to shimmy out of their way, but fail to do it. And under the cover of Mini Rook, Janet's going to start building up this wall. I fail to super her out of this. This is something I failed to do a couple times now in this match. It does take care of the skill coin and the Mini Rook for a bit, which is okay, but I don't get much out of it. And then I overextend, and Janet goes in with the jump in. So recognizing that I'm trying to be really aggressive towards the items and capitalizing on that when I'm at too close a range. That cross up was so dirty. Like, I felt that in my bones, and it's fantastic though. Like, that's it. Like, you have to recognize when those items are coming and when you can get that big damage. Janet is one of the best at that. Let's take a look at this last round again. Recognizing my grounded approach, I managed to get something with my aerial approach, but as soon as she gets this big rook out, or this mini rook out, she's able to start luring me in, trying to take care of these items. And then as soon as she does, goes for that big jump in. And we get the booty dance. And Janet moves on in Toryuken, and I get sent to losers very early. But this was an amazing match. Like, I always have fun playing matches against Janet. So it's always great to get in there. And I think this was a great example of kind of the back and forth that we've had as players and with our characters. I mean, I remember I used to only play Jaina basically in the early days of the Fantasy Strike Stun City tournaments. I moved to Valerie in response to some of the matchups that I was facing in the Fantasy Strike and Stun City tournaments. And what ended up happening was I ended up picking Valerie as my character. And she worked really well in a lot of the matchups that I struggled with, Lum being one of them, Grave being another. I ended up in this situation where Janet really likes playing Lum, so if she was facing a lot of Valeries, it forced her to go and play, develop this new tech and develop this matchup knowledge. And over the course of 18 months, she definitely did. And you can see the kind of results where she moves forward in this tournament in a fantastic fashion. Spoiler alert, she wins. Go figure, one of the best players using what some would say is not one of the best characters, but doing it at such a phenomenal level of play. It was really fantastic.